This is the shit I have to deal with every fucking day, people.
Hi, I'm Forrest's mommy, and as always, pink cake.
God help me. Cue the intro! Hey guys, welcome to YouTube Tag Thursday, where every Thursday I traverse through the internet and I find something to share with you here in this video. So for the past couple days, I've kind of just had this random idea in my head, and that idea is, if I had a time machine, where would I want to go? Now, the futurist in me wants me to obviously go to the future because I want to see what technology has been in the past, several years since I've, grown. But another part of me wants to kind of go to the 50s and the 60s, to like when Disneyland opened and when the 1964 World's Fair was a huge thing, and that happened. In fact, that is our theme for this video, is a couple of things that I found through Mental Floss. It's called the 20 Amazing Things That People Saw at the 1964-65 World's Fair. Now, of course, I'm not going to go through all 20. I actually condensed it to 5 things that I would actually really like to see, multiple things in one category, just to make it easy for all of us. So number 1 on my list is to actually see the model version of the World Trade Center. So in 1962, an architect by the name of Minoru Yamasaki came up with an idea to design a brand new building for New York, the World Trade Center, the Twin Towers as it's most commonly known. And it then was created into a model and displayed for everyone to see in the 1964-65 World's Fair. And almost at that moment, it was actually being built, and it wasn't fully complete until 1973 because it's really fucking tall, so why not? But to see a model of a building that we would later know has a huge significance in our American history is actually pretty awesome. So for me, that would be number 1. And number 2 was the very first time that we actually saw a picture phone. Now I understand that Skype and FaceTime and Periscope and things like that are kind of the norm as of right now, but in the 1960s, that was a huge fucking thing. So thanks to the Bell Laboratories, who came up with this amazing idea to take 2 booths, or take a couple booths, put them in New York, and then take another couple booths, put them into Disneyland Park in the 1960s, so you get a chance to see people from across the entire United States. I mean, that's pretty cool to see, people from on another coast. How awesome is that? I would have loved to have seen that, just to witness what I see as normal now. Would be pretty awesome to see other people and how they would react to it. Number 3 is any sort of exhibit that had to pretty much do with space travel, space living, and future tech. That'd be pretty awesome. In fact, there was an attraction from General Motors called Futurama. It was the second incarnation of Futurama that they released, and why not? It was in the 1930s, and then bring it back for the 1960s. Only update it, make it a lot more geared to how the people of the 60s would have seen it. And it was an attraction about how space living was a thing. How can we create a nice, stable environment and community on the moon? Why not? And then of course we then proved them in 1969, about 4 to 5 years later, that we can travel to the moon. We're still trying to figure out if we can habitate the moon, but it's still, we're still thinking about it. But now we're trying to see if we can now travel to another fucking planet. How awesome is that? That would actually be really awesome. I would actually really like that. Well anyways, and then also too, the biggest other thing would be the jetpack. Now the jetpack at the time was also kind of well versed in, animation, the films, and all that cool stuff, but to see it in person and flying around the guests of the fair was pretty unique. So I definitely say anything that was space tech and jetpacks would be my kind of thing. Number 4 is any sort of exhibit that Disney had his hand in creating. Now, of course, I'm referring to the 4 exhibits that would then make their appearances in Disneyland Park in some way, shape, or form. That would be the Great Moments of Mr. Lincoln with the state of Illinois, the UNICEF exhibit, It's a Small World, and then General Electric's Carousel of Progress in Progressland, and the Magic Skyway with Ford. The reason why I want to see those, obviously you're probably telling yourself, Forrest, you're so ingrained in Disney, why would you want to go see something that you can pretty much almost see already today? Why not see it in its first incarnation? I mean, they were specifically designed for the one, the only 1964-65 World's Fair. It was only decided to, why not keep them intact for the people who never got to see them, bring them into the parks and show them there. How awesome is that? That's pretty cool. I think it'd be pretty cool to see them in the very first incarnations. And then number 5 is going to be 2 icons that one exists today. The other one, I'm still wanting to know if it's still in existence because I'd still like to see it. That would be the Unisphere and the Tower of the Four Winds. Now, the Unisphere itself is what I think is the centerpiece of the World's Fair itself. Like, you couldn't think of the World's Fair without the Unisphere. Now, the Unisphere was a 12-story, huge metallic globe of the Earth, and there are lights on it that would light up at night. And I'm pretty certain that would represent the countries that were present in the World's Fair during the 1964-65 era. And then there were 3 rings that were revolving around the Earth that I'm pretty certain stand for the revolutions that the space travelers took when they were revolving around Earth. And the Tower of the Four Winds was designed by Roland Crump, or as Disney fans know him as Rolly Crump, who would later have a hand in creating the Haunted Mansion, created a kinetic statue, or lovely tower known as the Tower of the Four Winds, that would blow in the 4 different directions, north, south, east, and west. It had very fantastic design, and I'm pretty certain that's what helped influence the exterior facade of It's a Small World that we know and love today. And I think it's a really cool idea to see. I'm a big fan of geometric shapes and things like that, so something like that definitely sparks my interest. It makes it, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I absolutely love it. That was one of my favorite things to see. So those 2 icons are my number 5. Why am I talking about these 5 things, and why in particular am I talking about the 1964-65 World's Fair? That is because the day after that this video comes out, so Friday, May 22nd, Tomorrowland comes out on theaters. Now, what is Tomorrowland about? Well, what if Walt Disney and his Imagineers were actually using the 64-65 World's Fair as a way to show another world, that they were in fact creating another world where everyone lived in harmony, and, you know, future tech was actually possible, that anything could actually be achievable. I'm super excited for it. I cannot wait to see it. It's one of my favorite things. I always like mixing the future and the vintage and the past, because why not? I feel like it's a cool mix to have. So that's gonna wrap it up for this week's YouTube Tag Thursday. Before I go, I kind of wanted to mention, not only is Tomorrowland coming out on the 22nd, but the 60th anniversary of Disneyland Park begins also on Friday, May 22nd, which means I will be there and I will be vlogging. So it'll be, I'm pretty certain, released exactly like I did with the Voyage to the Iron Reef. I'll be vlogging it, and then I'll be releasing it sometime either Saturday or Sunday. That way it gives you a chance to see what I got to see while I was going through it, and you'll also get a special sneak view of my mom. My mom will be with me to go through this adventure, because we were there 10 years ago. Why not come back 10 years later and come for the opening? So I'm super excited. So the question I want to leave to you guys in the comments down below is, if you were given a time machine and granted access to go anywhere in time, any place you wanted, where would you like to go? Now, like I said, I could either go to the future or to the past, but it's up to you. Leave those in the comments down below. So thank you guys so much again for watching this week's video. If you like this video, please like down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I release new videos every Monday and Thursday, and of course the occasional vlog every so often. And don't forget, my social media links will be located in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember, my name is Forrest, and as always, a pink cake.